Okay, find yourself in your comfortable seated position or lying down. And I just want to just take your palms, begin to rub them together. Just keep rubbing them and building the energy. Connecting to your breath. Take a long inhale in, exhale through your mouth. Continue to build this energy up in your hands by rubbing your palms together. And just slowly separate your hands and feel the energy between them. Now I just want you to move your hands, gently place them on your right on your heart and your left on your solar plexus. Just breathing deeply here, flowing down, grounding down into your body. Feel your energy, your own energy, your space, the space you take up, the space within. Just take a minute here to allow this energy to flow, honoring emotions that run through these energetic centers throughout phase right now. Slowly move your hand from your solar plexus down towards your sacral plexus, and just think about gut instinct. Just keep your hands there, inhaling through your nose and slowly exhaling through your mouth. And now you can repeat out loud or in your mind, this is my energetic body. My energetic body knows the way. My energy knows when things are aligned. This intelligent energy is my intuition. This energy within, this is my guide. This is my source of truth and my connection to the divine. And I allow it to flow freely through my being. And I honor any emotions that arise at any time, allowing them to inform me. I give myself grace and patience with each wave of emotion, allowing the waves of energy to inform my intuition and to guide me through my thoughts, through my words, through my visions, and through my choices. I trust that the energy within will inform me so that I am always aligned with my highest power. I am always conversing with my higher self, receiving wisdom through the waves of emotions that flow through my being. Receiving the wisdom of my own energy. My connection to universal intelligence grows strong as I patiently tap into its power. This connection cannot be hindered nor broken. This connection is my power, and I trust its wisdom. I allow the divine to deliver to me all that I need through this channel. And I allow the energy of divine wisdom and intuition to flow through my heart space, down my arms, and through my hands, blessing all that I touch and all that I create. Now imagine a waterfall just washing over you. Let this water cleanse away all that which does not serve you, washing away any self-doubt, confusion, or illusion. Now repeat out loud or in your mind, I am connected. What is the divine is also mine. I am connected to the divine. What is the divine? And so it is, and so it shall be. So it is, so it always shall be. When you're ready, and if you feel called to share in the chat something you're calling in, maybe a message that you receive from your intuition, message, maybe share where you felt this in your body, what part of your body or physical body felt charged. In just a minute, we'll come up. We'll start. Fall asleep. Sometimes I fall asleep during the meditation and activation. Okay, I just want to also share that, when I started this, really connecting to the intuition, I always feel called to make a connection to a chakra. And I posted something and I started talking about the throat chakra, thinking that my idea was that the intuition comes from the throat chakra. what we speak and our connection to our expression. Then I backtracked a little, and then I was thinking third eye chakra. And I sat with that for a while. And then after practicing this, I realized that my intuition comes from my heart space. And it's undoubtedly that the physical sensations that happen in my body, and I'm looking for guidance from within. I'm led by my heart, a very heart-centered guide within. And that is my intuition. And I'm interested to know if others have experienced this and they feel also that it's a very strong connection to the heart space. So if you want to share here in the comments, I'm actually looking for the comments. Forgive me, sometimes I fumble around Zoom. So I've been doing a lot of connecting to my intuition in my sacral space, especially through womb work. I agree with that also. Definitely. I tap into a lot of that in the course about how creativity is really tied to our womb and our menstrual cycle. And there's a lot of even scientific information around that. And of course, it's the center of creation, so that makes sense. Okay, does anyone else want to share? Yes, 100%. More intuition during the luteal phase. I agree. Sometimes I'm like, it's the truth serum. It's like the time that all the truth comes up. Okay. So I just want to confirm that everybody did receive the assets package and that everyone can see my screen here. So I'm going to begin creating. Alice and Anna, thank you for sharing. You received the assets package. Rana, thank you. Reina. So some people are just popping in here. Okay, so within the assets package, I already went ahead and opened everything in Photoshop. Just gonna dive right into it. So when I start creating in Photoshop, we go File New to create a new document. And I'm gonna keep our resolution at 72 dpi, which is typically web resolution. 300 dpi is for print. There are many details of Photoshop. Sandra, you did not receive the package. I'm just gonna, before I get started here, I will drop the zipped file into the chat. Everyone can go ahead and open up their assets package. Sandra, did you receive mail?
I didn't. I don't know. I checked my spam. I checked everything, and it didn't come to me.
Oh, okay. Did you sign up and confirm? Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. All right. Well, I'll try to add it right here.
Okay. Thank you.
The chat right there, and it's 45 megs. It might take a minute, but it's going through right now. And you can create along with me. You can also create in Procreate. Somebody has sent me a message and asked that they could create in Canva, and you can 100% upload all of these transparent PNG files into Canva and into Procreate. Um, there are just a few things that you're going to be able to do. There's a lot actually that you're going to be able to do in Photoshop that you won't be able to access in Procreate and Canva, but it's still fun to create collages there. So just talking about the workspace here in Photoshop, when you have multiple files open, which you generally do if you're a digital collage artist, they appear as tabs here, just as the way that they do in a website browser. There's a little arrow over here that you can actually click on, and then you have a drop down to access the files. So I'm going to go and save my file. Save it within the new folder. I'm going to copy. So I have this ocean piece, and I'm going to start by adding that to my document. So I'm going to do Command A to select, Command C to copy. The dimensions of the artboard, I created 10 by 10 inches. And I typically start creating things at a much larger scale, but for demonstration purposes, I'm just creating this at a smaller scale. And the files that you received are smaller. Typically when I create, I begin with a document that's 36 inches by 24 inches at 300 DPI, because that's a standard poster size. And there's a rule of thumb in Photoshop. And that rule is that you can always make things smaller without losing quality, but you can never make things bigger, or you'll get pixelation and things will be blurry. So that's just a rule that I always go by. Okay, so I'm gonna go to this woman meditating, and I'm gonna copy her and add her in here. This is a file that I found on Creative Commons. It's a vintage image, and it's Creative Commons. So I'm just gonna go in and go through all of the files and copy and paste them. Go through all the images and copy and paste them into my Photoshop document. Then I just want to make a note that you can see the layers over here, and you can see layers are starting to build up. If you cannot see your layers, you go to Window, Show Layers. So Photoshop is all about layers, right? Like I actually dream in layers. I think about layers so much. So what you see at the bottom of the list is the layer in the far back, and what you see at the top of the list is the layer in the far front. So you can rearrange the layers here. See how the layers can be, you can just grab it, click, hold, and move the layers around. Another thing for organizational purposes is that I always name the layers. You don't have to do this, and this also is very aligned with our sacred cycles and when it feels more accessible to be very organized with your artwork, or when it feels more accessible to just be messy and be in a very creative space. And we honor both of those. Okay, so I already copied and pasted this one into my document. I'm just gonna hit Command W and close it. I use a lot of keyboard shortcuts, and it really helps me to move the things quickly. Okay. Out background. This purple, I call it the purple galactic mist. It's kind of like a secret sauce to a lot of my creations. Okay, Amanda, when copying the layer, Command and then Command C, Command A is select, Command C is copy, Command A, C, and then Command V. I brought in this Vesica Pisces. And I just wanted to talk about a little bit also about like the images that I chose and the colors that I choose. The Vesica Pisces symbol is an intersection between the spiritual and the physical world. And if you're behind, don't worry too much. You'll have the recording. And if you're new at Photoshop, it's really dependent on repetition and practice and watching the videos. And I do go fast, and you'll be able to get there. Okay, so Command T, put a transformation box around the element or layer, and then you can grab the corner and make it larger. And you know, it's okay if you're not creating everything in live time with me. Just okay, so we're going to copy this. Actually gave this plant to me as a gift, and I photographed it. I love being able to add my own images. Actually, this ocean is an image that I photographed as well. When I create, a lot of my work is very symmetrical. There is a way to change the colors. You want to duplicate layer. So you can actually pull this layer down into this little cloth box down here, and then it duplicates it. And then for it to be a mirror reflection, to create an asymmetrical piece, you just do transform flip horizontally. And then I'm going to do the same thing for this purple galaxy here in the background. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller so we're getting a port-like image. And I just did Command T and I turned it a little bit. And then I'm going to take that adjustment, hue, saturation, and I'm going to bring it over to blue. You can see if you go up and down this hue that it changes pretty drastically, the hue. And then you can play with like the saturation. Another way to change color also on one layer is to go to color balance. You can see it's like getting much more blue. And I'm actually going to repeat that process where I duplicated that, made it a little bit smaller. Saturation, green and turquoise on this one. Okay. I'm actually going to make one. I want to bring the moon forward so I can see it more. A lot of times I just sort of collect the images onto the document and then I play with them and rearrange them. It's definitely a process and a meditation that I engage in. Another really important thing that you always want to practice is just Command S and just like continue to save your work, because Photoshop does crash sometimes. Especially if you have a whole bunch of different images open and you're working with larger files, it can crash. Okay, so I got this picture, this image off of Unsplash. Unsplash is all Creative Commons, so you can use the photos there without any legal ramification. Um, I want to take just this part of the waterfall out, and I'm going to do that just like freehand with my mouse. That's another thing. Like I work with a mouse. A lot of people will work with like a little tablet and a pen, and it's really whatever you feel comfortable with. I've been working with a mouse in Photoshop for 26 years. So I tried to actually change over to a tablet, and I just prefer to work with a mouse. So I'm gonna take this lasso tool, and um, this is a way that we can select a portion of a layer or element, just like free-handed. And there's many different ways that you can select and mask things. I went ahead and masked out all of the images that you received in the assets package. But there in the different workshops and in the live course, we get into all of the different ways. So I pasted this in and I'm like, where is it? I don't see it. You can see that it pasted over here as layer 4. So I'm gonna zoom out a little bit by hitting Command and the minus, and then I'm gonna hit Command T to see, okay, here's this giant waterfall that I just pasted in. So again, I put Command T to transform it and bring it down to the right size that I want it to be. And I actually think that talking about like the intuition and the heart space, I always feel like there's just like a flood of emotion and energy coming from my heart, and giving that the watery Pisces new moon connecting with the intuition, I want to create something where this waterfall is like flowing from her heart. Okay, so it's not quite there yet, but it's getting closer. So see, you can see the edge. I actually So this edge looks funny. There's many different ways to adjust or to soften the edges of layers and design elements. In this case, I'm going to grab this eraser tool over here, and I'm going to put it on a soft brush, and just zoom in on my document a little bit smaller. And see, there's just like a little bit of green in the background. I'm just gonna go over and erase the little edges that I don't want there anymore. It's like soften that up. It doesn't have that hard cut edge. No, some collage work does have a hard cut edge like that, and that's the style. I think really the beauty between creating Photoshop digital collage and the difference, I mean, between creating the Photoshop digital collage and creating hand cut collage is that you can soften edges and blend things together and use Photoshop and the Photoshop tools to do that. Whereas you can't do that with hand cut collage. And I take this larger eraser brush, and I just want to like fade this out here. It kind of really looks like it's blending into a piece. If you take a larger brush, that's just like softens that edge. And then go back to color and just get a little bit more aligned with the color of the ocean. Now it's kind of starting to look natural, like it's blending. Okay, now I'm going to see. Notice how I just turn those up, just this little eyeball. So you can turn layers off and on without getting rid of them as you play with your composition and build on it. And I used that one, so I'm just gonna close that out. Got that file in there too, so I'll just close that. Got the ocean in there. Got my little workspace here now. Any confusion. I pasted this one in here, and so now already I saved it as a transparent PNG overlay over everything on top. Eyes it down. Maybe it will look better if it's behind the ocean. Galaxy Magic layer. I'm just going to turn that back on and maybe size that down a little bit and put it over this, just this edge here where the water meets the sky. I'm going to bring the transparency down, and then I'm going to duplicate that by dragging the layer down to the little box. And I'm going to slide it over and hit shift. And by hitting shift, it will stay in the same line. Whereas if you just move it around like this, it will move around freely. If you hold the shift button, it stays in line on the horizontal plane. Okay, now let's bring our fish in, our Pisces fish. I got this Pisces fish, I masked it out, I got it from Unsplash years ago, many years ago. I think it was 2016, which would be 9 years ago now. And I adjusted the colors. I think it was more of like a turquoise. And I adjusted it to be a little bit more fuchsia. I'll put that in there. And then I want to duplicate it. Move it over. Command T because I want to turn it around. Get my transformational box on there. Flip it. And then again, I'm going to hit shift. And see when I hit shift, it like snaps to an angle. Because I want it to be, well, actually, I don't want it to be exact. I want to turn it a little more. So I won't hit shift when I just, and I'm just looking down here, like the edges are not exactly soft and blending into the piece of the work. So again, I'll go over to the eraser, soften that in a little bit. I had added to the assets package all of these different things that I thought maybe we would use. We can try the dolphins. All of these different stones that I put in here are actually stones that are related to intuition. Oh, this little bird. So you'll see that, you know, your takeaway from this workshop, and if you decide to go on and play on your own, there's going to be a bunch of different images in there that you can play with. So it doesn't necessarily have to look like this. Have the little dolphins there. Okay. Now I see I want to create a little, I'm going to duplicate this this circle, and I'm gonna make it smaller. But right here. Right. Just that water is flowing out of her heart space. Smaller. I like that. It just landed right in there. I'm gonna duplicate the one and bring that up here. You can adjust just using the arrows also. And then you can also lock layers. So once you have something in place, now that I've got, my basic plan, I just sort of continue to play with and adjust the layers. Remember, always remember to save. Here, the Vesica Pisces, maybe you can play with the transparency of that. Or maybe even there's down here this FX and below the layers. You open that up, you'll see a menu of many different things. Color overlay. You want to change the color of that. I actually connect more. I like the white a little bit better. Maybe make a transparency. I think we'll make this purple and make it smaller and make the different negative space areas inside of the Vesica Pisces. Different colors, it could be interesting. Okay, Amanda, is that how you would do a clipping mask? Say I want to clip the element, make it that color. I'm not sure exactly what you mean. If you want to elaborate on that, want to turn your microphone on and ask me?
Yeah, hi. Sorry, tough to type it out. But so on Procreate, because I usually make my art in there. So like if you put that Vesica element and then like instead of changing it to white, if I wanted it to be like the color of the purple moon, so I would like put the purple moon over it, and in Procreate I can do the clipping mask. So I'm not sure.
Oh
I would
yeah.
that's an option in here, but
Yeah, for sure you're going to be able to do a lot more in Photoshop that you can in Procreate, but see how I just put this purple galactic portal on top
mm,
of the Vesica Pisces. And now
mhm.
I'm going to go down to the Vesica Pisces, and I'm not sure how you would do this in Procreate, but in Photoshop, you hit Command, and notice when I hit Command, do you see the little hand there with the little square marquee tool? Notice that if I go over to the layer and I'm not on the actual box, it's different. So what you want to make sure that you're on the layer, you hit Command on your keyboard on an Apple and you click and see how it created this marching ant or selection.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go back up to the purple, this layer, and then you can select mask there and then see how it
Okay.
created this mask
Perfect. Cool. Thanks so much.
and create all of these different textures. And masks can be, I definitely use a lot of masks. I try not to get too crazy into teaching them in the beginning because they can be a little bit complicated, but I definitely use them.
Perfect. Thank you.
Of course. So just seeing what that looks like, maybe adjusting the color of that. Thank you for adding to the the design because it's coming out different now, and I love that. Again, I'm just playing, like you can I put the saturation all the way up and get all of these different color effects in here, which is so much fun. That purple is beautiful, and it really kind of ties in the fish color. Okay. Again, always hitting save. Just want to adjust my background a little bit. And then I thought I had another background. Cloud background. Oh, I do. Okay. Blue starry sky. Okay, so I'm just going to take this background and paste it into my Photoshop document to see if I can. Now I'll demonstrate. I'm just going to size it a little bit, and now I'll demonstrate a mask. So I'm going to put a mask on here, and then I'm going to grab my gradient tool and see how the gradient tool is black and white here. So what the gradient tool does, or what the mask does, is essentially think of a mask of like whatever is white showing here on the mask is the part of the image that's going to show through. And whatever is black is the part that's going to be deleted or hidden. So when you put a gradient over it, you're able to fade it out from what's showing through to what's hidden. So that's how you get that effect of like blending and fading. And then I just like adjust the transparency. I actually like it dark like that. Okay, another thing I want to do, and I can just go over another tool over here. I'm going to grab, actually, I'm going to grab this, see when you can select the images, select the layers by, you can hit Command and then just click on them. Okay, so I selected this purple portal, but I want to just cut out this part at the top of this blue portal. So I have it selected in just this area, and then I selected this layer. And then I'm going to hit Command C and Command V. And that gave me a new layer of just that piece of the blue. And then now I'm going to adjust the color of that to make like another layer of colorful portal in there. All right, I think I had the lotus. That's what I was looking for. This lotus, I hand drew each of the petals, and you can see that it's perfectly symmetrical. I hand drew the petals, and then I added the texture on them in Photoshop. Just gonna paste that in there. And then I really like working with the Blue Lotus, and I had a very significant experience with a Blue Lotus, but you can actually drink Blue Lotus tea, and the Blue Lotus has alkaloids in it that produce an antispasmodic effect. So it's like very calming. And they say, like in Egypt, it's an Egyptian flower. That's where it originated. And they say that it really enhances your intuition and connects you to dream world and enhances your psychic abilities also. So I'm going to put that at the top. Again, I want to just play with the placement of it. Like you can just kind of see how it takes a little bit of time and thought to just sort of place all of the images together. Like now that I look at it, maybe the fish should be a little bit smaller. They're a little bit overwhelming. I can actually hit Shift and select both of the fish at the same time and put a transformation box on them and size them down together, then separately move them over to the space where I feel like they look better. Maybe the dolphin should be a little bit smaller. Maybe looks better with the white. Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Any more questions with the demo? Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me in this space. I really love sharing my craft like this in Photoshop. And I'm just, it's an honor for me to connect to women that are like-minded women that are interested in creating and interested in working in Photoshop. And I really feel like Photoshop is it's a vehicle to execute these ideas. And I find it to be, I just find it to be like a very easily accessible way to tap into your creativity and sort of like express your visions and express your ideas. And while you're here, I just want to talk about, I have a couple of things coming up. If you are interested in continuing on this path of creativity, which I highly encourage, there's a couple people in here from my the winter course that just closed up this week. It closed on Wednesday, and I actually get a little bit sad when the course closes because I connect to the women in there so much, and I just value their participation and sharing with them. And it's just been such an amazing journey. I started teaching 2 years ago, and um, I'm realizing how important it is for me to teach these skills and to share them. And especially now with all the AI, like I really want to keep creativity in the hands of humans. Um, if you want to share your artwork, Mariana, please, I highly encourage anyone to share. If you can do a screenshot and drop it into the message here, Mariana, let me know if you can do that. Thank you, Anna. I know I'm actually not an astrologer. I consider myself an intuitive artist, and I pay attention to the planetary alignments, and they're very meaningful to me. And I think it's a really powerful way to connect to your business and your personal life. Yes, if you please share on Instagram and definitely tag me. And I'm just going to pull up Mariana or Amanda. Amanda shared this. It's beautiful. I love the way it all really blends in. You did a great job. Thank you for sharing. It is gorgeous. See, I get so excited when people share their artwork and when I see how they can create things too. Did you create this in Photoshop or did you create this in Procreate?
I did it in Photoshop.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn Photoshop because I want to have more capabilities with my art.
Yeah, it's fun. You can do so much with it. Um, so I actually have this membership where I have all of the videos. They're all in school right now. It's $88 a month. Have this open for the next 72 hours. Regarding Photoshop, within the videos, there's a lot of trade secrets that I reveal in the videos and the way that I create. I have a very unique way of creating. I've been working in Photoshop for 25 years. So other things that you might learn on like YouTube videos or like other things that are out there, what I share and the way I do things might be a little bit different. So I think you will find it really interesting. And one of the great benefits of the membership is that you have access to the community. So we have all women sharing their work. And then if you get tripped up or find yourself facing obstacles, I'll be right there. I usually respond pretty quickly, but I really enjoy engaging with the artists that are in the community so I can help them, overcome obstacles and things. Sometimes Photoshop can just get like really frustrating, and you can click on like one little thing and like lose everything, that all of your intention, or like not understand like, what did I do? How did this happen? So yeah, it can be like a little bit finicky. So if you're interested, I have this open for the next 3 days. Um, I am working with a team right now. I'm working with a marketing team, and we're crafting a whole new membership that's going to be moved over to Kajabi, and it's going to have a lot more videos in it. So coming spring, um, this monthly membership fee is going to be $375. But if you get in here now, you have the whole year for $88 a month or $888 a year. So there's an immense amount of value. The other thing that I have coming up right now is the live course in spring. This will be the first time that I did this course in spring, and it's going to be really interesting because I feel like spring is the time for creation. It's like the creative energy, like the fiery Aries, like it's the time of birth and creation and recreation. And it's the 4th live course, so it's definitely going to be a special one. And this price is going to be raising once once I launch the summer course as well. But I'm offering it just exclusively to the participants of this group at a 20% discount for the next 3 days. I'm also going to be having a Q&A on this coming Tuesday. So I'll shoot an email. If you have any questions regarding like any of these offerings, if you're really serious about up-leveling, if you're serious about up-leveling your creativity, I invite you to join me because I would love to have you. I just dropped in the link to the membership, and then I dropped in the link to the spring if anyone's interested in that. And then I just want to talk a little bit about too, while I still have you here. So within the live course, it's not just Photoshop and technical skills. It's we cover so many different areas of like creation and project execution and like bringing your artwork into the world. We go over all different types of like organizational techniques, naming conventions, file setup for execution of like your brand assets, or for both print and web. We go over creating products and different tools I use in my business to sell my different products, which are both physical products and digital products. And, I'm 43 years old, and I've been away. Sorry. I've been out of the corporate world and doing this on my own for 17 years. So I do things a little bit differently. And a really important part of like my work and what I offer and how I've been working in this space for 17 years is like honoring sacred cycles of sacred divine feminine cycles. It's, there's a lot of information within the course that I share about our menstrual cycle and our creative energy. And, it's like biologically tied to natural rhythms and hormonal fluctuations. Like it's science. And, there's times where we have more enhanced verbal fluency and cognitive flexibility. Our mind can be more analytical, and there are like times for organization and execution. And then there are other times of like rest and reflect and like reflection, nurturing and refining your work. So I really try to teach and share all aspects of my work in the course. And yeah, if you can get in there and read some of the testimonials, the women that I've had in there, there's a couple of them in here today. They've had great transformational experiences with their creativity. Okay. All right. Well, I think that's it for today. Does anybody else have a work that they would like to share? If anyone hasn't, share. Okay. I know I go a little bit fast. Let me see. I just want to make sure that for some reason, these are the two the links to the membership and the spring live course. Thank you, Benita. It was a pleasure having you, and your artwork. The transformation of your artwork was amazing. Mariana, yes. So I went a little bit fast. I go much slower in the live course and in the membership videos. Okay, so if you want to hop in and ask me any more questions, I'm happy to answer. If you want to shoot me an email, anything at all, any doubts, anything that you want to share about your goals and your specific ideas for projects, I'm happy to help and guide you. And thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Have a great new moon, everyone. I hope everyone's thriving in this new moon energy and are able to connect to your intuition. Thank you. Thank you. Muchas gracias. Also, Mariana, I do speak, I'm fluent in Spanish. Also, if you have any questions, we can have a conversation in Spanish. And happy new moon, everyone. I will send, you'll see the recording in your inbox, so you can go back and just follow along if you want to recreate. And please just keep creating.